Welcome to our channel, where we delve into powerful life stories that inspire and resonate. Today, we begin the gripping tale of the Johnson family, a dedicated FBI agent, his passionate attorney wife, and their two wonderful children whose dream vacation at Seaview Resort turns into a fight against injustice and discrimination. Join us as we explore their emotional journey, the challenges they face, and the profound lessons they learn about love, resilience, and standing up for what's right. Subscribe to our channel and follow along to witness how their story unfolds and makes a lasting impact. Don't miss out, subscribe now to start today's story. The Johnson family had been dreaming of this moment for months. As we approached the grand entrance of Seaview Resort, the sun cast a golden hue over the sprawling beachfront, promising days of relaxation and joy. For Michael, my husband, the weight of his responsibilities as a seasoned FBI agent often kept him away from home, away from us. Yet here we were, ready to embrace a rare opportunity to reconnect and unwind. Michael stepped out of the car, his uniform momentarily set aside, revealing a man eager to savor the simple pleasures of life. His broad shoulders relaxed, and a genuine smile played on his lips, an expression I had come to cherish during our brief moments together. I could see the excitement in our children, Tyler and Sophia, their eyes wide with anticipation as they gazed at the sparkling pool and the endless expanse of the ocean beyond. "Welcome to Seaview," the doorman greeted us warmly, his demeanor reflecting the resort's reputation for excellence. We checked in smoothly, our room overlooking the azure waters, each detail meticulously arranged to ensure our stay was nothing short of perfect. As we settled into our spacious suite, I felt a profound sense of gratitude. Michael and I had both dedicated our lives to professions that demanded unwavering commitment and often personal sacrifices. My work as an attorney defending underserved communities had its own toll. Yet it was a path I chose with passion. Tonight, however, those concerns seemed distant, overshadowed by the serene beauty surrounding us. That evening, we dined at the resort's finest restaurant, the ambience intimate and the cuisine exquisite. Michael and I shared stories of our days, laughing and reminiscing, while Tyler and Sophia eagerly recounted their excitement for the adventures that awaited them. The love and connection between us felt palpable, a testament to the strength of our bond despite the challenges we faced. The following morning dawned bright and clear. The gentle waves lapped against the shore, and the scent of salt water filled the air. Michael decided to lounge by the pool, savoring a rare moment of tranquility. I found myself drawn to a nearby terrace, a book in hand that I had scarcely had time to read in recent weeks. Yet, as I glanced over, I couldn't help but steal moments of peacefulness from Michael's quiet enjoyment. Tyler, now 12, was a bundle of energy, constantly pushing the limits of his swimming speed against his younger sister, Sophia. Her laughter, pure and uninhibited, echoed around the pool, infusing the atmosphere with joy. Watching them, I felt a deep sense of contentment. Michael, too, seemed at ease, a stark contrast to the tension that often lingered in our home due to his demanding job. However, beneath the surface of our idyllic vacation, a shadow began to loom. As Michael reached for a cold drink, a security guard approached us with an air of authority that was hard to miss. His dark polo shirt and stern expression hinted at a seriousness that immediately set my nerves on edge. "Excuse me, sir," he began, his voice firm. "I need to verify that you're a guest here." Michael, ever the epitome of calm, responded smoothly. "We're in room 305. We arrived yesterday." His eyes met the guard's with unwavering composure, but I sensed an undercurrent of suspicion that was unsettling. This wasn't the first time we'd faced such unwarranted scrutiny in upscale establishments, a recurring reminder of the prejudices that still marred our society. I set my book aside, my sharp eyes meeting the guard's as I sensed the discrimination underlying his request. "Is there a problem?" I asked, my tone polite but firm. mirroring Michael's steadiness. The guard hesitated, his professional facade faltering for a moment. But he maintained his stance. "It's just procedure," he replied, though his discomfort was evident. As he walked away to confirm our details with the front desk, Michael placed a reassuring hand on my shoulder. The tension in the air was palpable, the joyful ambience of our vacation now tinged with unease. We tried to resume our relaxation, but the incident had cast a shadow over our time at the resort. Minutes later, the guard returned, this time accompanied by a colleague who exuded even more authority. "We need you and your family to leave the pool area until we confirm your information with the front desk," the first guard stated more forcefully. Michael remained calm, reiterating our room number and the details of our stay. But his words were met with stubborn resistance. I couldn't stay silent any longer. My voice, sharp and filled with protest, broke the uneasy silence. "We've answered all your questions. Why are you asking us to leave?" The guard avoided my eyes, his professionalism waning as he responded. "We've had some issues recently with non-guests sneaking into the pool area. It's a policy we have to follow." His response only deepened my frustration. Is this policy applied to everyone, or just to families like ours? I pressed, the injustice of the situation gnawing at me. The guard's hesitance betrayed his discomfort, but he continued to assert his authority. Michael, sensing the need to de-escalate, suggested calmly, "Let them check with the front desk." But our attempt to remain composed was met with further antagonism. A younger guard stepped forward, his stance more aggressive, and claimed, "We're just doing our job." His dismissive attitude ignited a fire within me. "You're harassing a legal family and scaring our children," I retorted, my voice unwavering despite the turmoil inside. The situation teetered on the brink of chaos, the serenity of Seaview Resort now a stark contrast to the brewing storm. Guests around us began to take notice, some whispering in disapproval while others discreetly recorded the unfolding drama. The peaceful retreat we had envisioned was slipping away, replaced by a confrontation that felt all too familiar yet deeply personal. Michael remained a pillar of strength, his presence a calming force amidst the rising tension. Yet, I could see the exhaustion and frustration in his eyes, a reflection of the countless times we had faced such prejudices. Our love and unity were our anchors, but the ordeal we were enduring tested the very foundations of our bond. As the guards persisted, it became clear that our vacation was no longer about relaxation but about standing up against an injustice that had long plagued our lives. The lessons we had learned through years of hardship and resilience were now being put to the ultimate test, demanding that we rise above and protect the love and unity that defined us as a family. The serenity of our first day at Seaview Resort had been abruptly disrupted, as the security guard and his colleague departed to verify our reservation. An uneasy silence settled over our family. Michael and I exchanged a glance, our eyes reflecting a mixture of concern and determination. We had hoped for peace, but it seemed fate had other plans for our much-anticipated getaway. Attempting to shake off the discomfort, I returned to my book, hoping to reclaim a sense of normalcy. However, the distant sound of footsteps approaching made it clear that our respite was far from over. Moments later, the same security guard returned, this time flanked by another officer whose presence exuded even more authority. Their stern expressions sent a chill down my spine. "We need you and your family to leave the pool area until we can confirm your information with the front desk," the first guard stated, his tone leaving no room for negotiation. Michael responded calmly, reiterating, "We're in room 305. We arrived yesterday." His unwavering composure was a stark contrast to the rising tension around us. But I could feel his internal struggle. The guard's insistence felt less like a routine check and more like an unjustified challenge. Unable to contain my frustration any longer, I stood up, my heart pounding in my chest. "We've answered all your questions. Why are you asking us to leave?" My voice was steady, but inside, A storm of emotions raged. The fear for our children's well-being and the indignation at being treated unfairly fueled my resolve. The guard shifted uncomfortably, clearly struggling to maintain his professionalism. We've had some issues recently with non-guests sneaking into the pool area. It's a policy we have to follow, he replied, avoiding my gaze. His words felt hollow, a flimsy excuse to mask the underlying prejudice we were facing. Michael placed a reassuring hand on my shoulder, a silent gesture of support. Let them check with the front desk, he suggested, hoping to de-escalate the situation. But our attempt to remain calm only seemed to aggravate the guards further. A younger officer stepped forward, his posture more aggressive, crossing his arms defiantly. "We're just doing our job," he declared, his dismissive attitude igniting a spark of anger within me. "Harassing a legal family and scaring our children is unacceptable," I retorted, my voice unwavering despite the turmoil inside. The words hung in the air, charged with the weight of our collective frustration and hurt. The pool area, once a symbol of relaxation and joy, now felt like a battleground. Guests around us began to take notice, their whispers and furtive glances adding to the mounting pressure. Some discreetly pulled out their phones, capturing the unfolding drama, while others watched with a mix of concern and disapproval. Michael remained a pillar of strength, his presence a calming force amidst the rising tension. Yet, I could see the exhaustion and frustration in his eyes, a reflection of the countless times we had faced such prejudices. Our love and unity were our anchors, but the ordeal we were enduring tested the very foundations of our bond. As the guards persisted, it became clear that our vacation was no longer about relaxation but about standing up against an injustice that had long plagued our lives. The lessons we had learned through years of hardship and resilience were now being put to the ultimate test, demanding that we rise above and protect the love and unity that defined us as a family. Tyler and Sophia stood nearby, their innocent faces etched with confusion and fear. Tyler's protective instincts kicked in as he moved closer to Michael, while Sophia clung to me, her small hands gripping my arm tightly. Seeing their distress only deepened my resolve. We couldn't let this situation break us. Instead, it had to strengthen our commitment to each other and to the fight against discrimination. Michael took a deep breath, his voice calm yet firm. "We're not going anywhere. If there's been a mistake, we expect it to be rectified immediately." His words were a beacon of hope amidst the growing darkness of the situation. The younger officer's defiance was met with my unwavering stance. "You're treating us like criminals without cause. This is unacceptable," I asserted, my voice echoing the collective anger and determination we all felt. The standoff seemed to stretch on, each passing second amplifying the tension. The peaceful ambience of Seaview Resort had been irrevocably altered, replaced by a confrontation that felt both personal and emblematic of a larger societal issue. In that moment, surrounded by our loved ones and the watchful eyes of onlookers, we realized that our fight for justice was just beginning. The confrontation at the pool had reached a boiling point. The Johnson family's plea for fairness and respect echoed through the once tranquil Seaview Resort, drawing the attention of every guest nearby. Whispers of disapproval rippled through the crowd, and the pervasive hum of discontent grew louder with each passing moment. It was clear that what began as an unpleasant interruption was spiraling into something far more serious. Michael remained steadfast, his calm demeanor a stark contrast to the escalating tension around us. However, I could see the strain in his eyes, the weight of the situation pressing down on him. Our children, Tyler and Sophia, stood nearby, their innocent faces mirroring the confusion and fear that we all felt. Tyler's protective instinct was evident as he moved closer to Michael, while Sophia clung to me, her small hands trembling with anxiety. Suddenly, the younger officer, whose earlier defiance had only fueled my frustration, took a step forward. His posture was rigid, and his expression hardening with each word he spoke. "Put your hands behind your back, sir," Or we'll use force, he demanded, his voice cold and unyielding. Before Michael could respond, another guard joined, and the situation took a drastic turn. The air seemed to grow heavier, the weight of impending injustice pressing down on us all. I felt a surge of adrenaline, my heart pounding in my chest as the reality of the moment set in. This wasn't just about a misunderstanding, it was about the blatant disrespect and discrimination our family was enduring. "You're making a big mistake," Michael said softly, his voice filled with a quiet determination that belied the turmoil within him. He looked directly into the officer's eyes, his gaze unwavering. "This situation is escalating unnecessarily." But the officer was relentless. With a swift motion, he pulled out his handcuffs, the cold metal glinting in the sunlight. Before I could react, he moved to clasp the cuffs around Michael's wrists. The sensation of helplessness washing over me, the humiliating sight of my husband being restrained in front of our children was a nightmare come to life. Tyler stepped forward, his young face etched with concern. "Dad, what's happening?" he asked, his voice quivering. Michael knelt down, placing a reassuring hand on Tyler's shoulder. "It's all right, son. Just a little misunderstanding. Go back and play with Sophia," he whispered, his eyes never leaving the officer's. Sophia, her tear-streaked face pale with fear, looked up at me for comfort. I pulled her into a tight embrace, my own tears threatening to spill over. "It's okay, sweetheart. We're going to be all right," I whispered, striving to project the strength and calm I desperately felt slipping away. As the officers continued their unjust actions, the onlookers around us began to take a more active interest. Phones were raised, recording every moment of our family's distress. The realization that our plight was being documented added a glimmer of hope amidst the darkness. Perhaps the truth would find its way out, sparking the change we so desperately needed. The lead officer, sensing the growing disapproval from the crowd, paused for a moment. His eyes darted around, meeting the gazes of the guests who now watched with a mix of sympathy and indignation. It was clear that public scrutiny was starting to weigh on him, but stubbornness kept him rooted in his position. "Enough," I finally spoke, my voice breaking through the tension like a beacon of defiance. "This ends now. You have no right to treat my family this way. Michael is an FBI agent, and you have no legitimate reason to detain him." The words hung in the air, charged with emotion and the collective frustration of not just our family, but everyone who believed in justice and equality. The officer's resolve seemed to waver as he glanced once more at Michael, whose calm strength served as an anchor amidst the chaos. "Release him," I demanded, my voice steady despite the turmoil within, "or we will ensure that this incident is brought to light. The truth will prevail." For a moment, silence reigned. The older officer, who had been watching the interaction with growing unease, stepped forward. "That's enough," he said, his tone softer but still authoritative. "Release him, and we will conduct an internal investigation." The cuffs clicked open, and Michael rubbed his wrists, maintaining his composure despite the ordeal. As he stood, I could see the exhaustion etched into his face, but also the unspoken determination that had driven him throughout his career. We had faced countless challenges together, but this confrontation felt deeply personal, a stark reminder of the pervasive issues that still plagued our society. As we gathered ourselves, the crowd's whispers began to shift from judgment to support. It was clear that our stand against injustice had resonated with those around us. The bonds of empathy and shared humanity began to form a protective shield around our family, reinforcing the strength we drew from one another. Michael turned to me, his eyes reflecting a mix of gratitude and resolve. "We won't let this define us," he said softly. "We'll fight this, not just for ourselves, but for everyone who has been wronged." I nodded, feeling the depth of our love and unity strengthen in that moment. The lessons we had learned through years of hardship and resilience were now guiding us through this trial. reminding us of the power of empathy, courage, and unwavering support for one another. As we prepared to leave the pool area, the weight of the situation settled around us. But so did a newfound sense of purpose. Our vacation had transformed from a simple getaway into a pivotal moment in our lives, a testament to our enduring fight against injustice and our commitment to creating a more compassionate and equitable world for future generations. The aftermath of Michael's unjust detention lingered in the air, a heavy silence replacing the earlier tension. As the crowd around us began to disperse, the weight of what had transpired settled deeply within our family. Tyler and Sophia remained by our side, their eyes reflecting a mixture of fear, confusion, and a budding understanding of the gravity of the situation. I could feel Michael's silent strength beside me, a pillar of resilience that fortified my own resolve. "We need to take action," Michael said quietly, his voice steady yet filled with an unspoken determination. He looked at me, his eyes conveying the depth of his conviction. "This isn't just about us anymore. It's about making sure no one else has to go through what we did today." I nodded, feeling a surge of empathy and love for my husband. His unwavering commitment to justice had always inspired me, and now it was our time to stand together against the injustice that had been thrust upon us. "I'll contact my colleague right away," I replied, pulling out my phone. "We need to document everything and start building our case." As I dialed, Michael took a moment to comfort our children. He knelt beside Tyler, placing a reassuring hand on his shoulder. "It's going to be okay, buddy. We're going to fix this." Tyler nodded, though his eyes still held traces of worry. Sophia, clutching my arm tightly, leaned into me, her small body trembling with fear. "Mommy, will we be okay?" she whispered, her voice barely audible. I enveloped her in a gentle hug, stroking her hair softly. "Yes, sweetheart. We're going to make sure everything is all right. Just stay close to us." The simplicity of her question belied the complexity of our emotions. But in that moment, I drew strength from her innocence and unwavering trust in us. After a few tense minutes, my colleague answered the call, and I briefed her on the situation with urgency and clarity. We were harassed by resort security, and Michael was unjustly detained despite his FBI credentials. I explained, "We need to gather all evidence, including the recordings from the guests who witnessed the incident." Meanwhile, Michael and I began strategizing our next steps. "We should reach out to the local media," he suggested, his mind already racing ahead. Public exposure can be a powerful tool in holding those responsible accountable. I agreed, knowing that our voices needed to be heard to prevent such discrimination from happening to others. As we waited for our colleague to gather support, Deputy Chief Anderson arrived, his presence commanding yet noticeably different from the officers who had wronged us. His demeanor was more respectful, a stark contrast to the earlier hostility. "I'm Deputy Chief Anderson," he introduced himself, extending a hand. "I've been briefed on the incident, and I want to ensure that this is handled appropriately." I shook his hand firmly, my eyes meeting his with a mixture of hope and skepticism. "Thank you for coming. We expect a thorough investigation and accountability for those involved." He nodded, his expression sincere. "I assure you, Mrs. Johnson, we take these matters very seriously. We will conduct a full and transparent investigation. Your cooperation is crucial to ensuring justice is served." Relief washed over me, tempered by the understanding that words alone would not suffice. "We have evidence and witnesses willing to speak out," I stated firmly. "This isn't just about our family, it's about standing up against systemic discrimination." Deputy Chief Anderson glanced toward the older officer who had reluctantly released Michael earlier. "We are committed to uncovering the truth," he affirmed. "Please provide us with all the documentation and recordings you have. We want to make sure this doesn't happen to anyone else." As he departed, Michael and I exchanged a look of cautious optimism. The path ahead was still uncertain, But having a higher authority on our side provided a glimmer of hope. Our family had endured a profound injustice. But we were determined to transform our pain into a catalyst for change. That evening, as the sun set over Seaview Resort, casting a warm glow across the horizon, we gathered in our suite to begin organizing our evidence. The room that was meant to be our sanctuary had become the birthplace of our fight for justice. Tyler and Sophia, sensing the seriousness of the moment, watched us with a newfound respect and understanding. Michael placed a hand on my shoulder, his touch conveying a silent promise. "We'll get through this together," he said softly. "Our love and unity will guide us." I felt a surge of love and pride for my husband and our children. Despite the turmoil, our family remained unbroken, our bonds strengthened by the adversity we faced. The lessons we had learned through years of dedication to justice now took on a personal significance, reminding us of the importance of empathy, resilience, and the unwavering pursuit of what is right. As we delved into the task ahead, the resolve within me deepened. This was more than a fight for our family's honor, it was a stand against the prejudices that still plagued our society. Together, we were ready to confront the challenges ahead, armed with love, empathy, and an unyielding commitment to justice. The days that followed our harrowing experience at Seaview Resort were a whirlwind of emotions and relentless determination. Deputy Chief Anderson's promise of a thorough investigation provided a semblance of hope. Yet the path ahead remained fraught with uncertainty. As we delved deeper into the aftermath, the true extent of the injustice we faced began to unfold, revealing the layers of systemic issues that had brought us to this pivotal moment. Early one morning, the sun cast a gentle light over our home, a stark contrast to the turmoil we were navigating. I sat at the kitchen table, surrounded by stacks of documents, witness statements, and video recordings meticulously gathered from fellow guests who had witnessed our ordeal. Michael was nearby, his presence a calming force as he reviewed the notes we had compiled together. Our children, Tyler and Sophia, observed us with a mix of curiosity and concern, their innocence a poignant reminder of what was at stake. "Have you heard back from your colleague?" I asked, my voice tinged with both anticipation and anxiety. "Yes," Michael replied, looking up with a reassuring smile. "She's ready to take on our case. We need to schedule a meeting with her today to discuss our legal strategy." The weight of our situation pressed heavily on me, but Michael's unwavering support bolstered my resolve. We had always been a team, navigating the complexities of our professional lives together, and now that partnership was more crucial than ever. I took a deep breath, gathering my thoughts before picking up the phone to arrange the meeting. As the afternoon sun filtered through the curtains, we prepared to meet with our attorney, Rebecca Thompson, a seasoned lawyer renowned for her expertise in civil rights cases. Her reputation preceded her, and her commitment to justice resonated deeply with our own values. When she arrived, her demeanor was both professional and compassionate, immediately putting us at ease. "Thank you for meeting with us, Rebecca," I began, my voice steady despite the turmoil within. "We need your help to hold those responsible accountable and to ensure this doesn't happen to anyone else." Rebecca listened intently, her eyes reflecting empathy and determination. "I'm deeply sorry you've had to go through this," she said softly. "We will build a strong case, starting with gathering all available evidence and testimonies. It's crucial to highlight not only the actions of the resort security and the officers involved, but also any underlying policies that may have facilitated this discrimination." As we strategized, the reality of our fight against systemic injustice became more tangible. Rebecca's insights were invaluable, guiding us through the legal labyrinth that lay ahead. We discussed reaching out to local media outlets to shed light on our experience, understanding that public awareness could be a powerful catalyst for change. Michael emphasized the importance of documenting every detail, ensuring that our story was heard loud and clear. Later that evening, Deputy Chief Anderson paid another visit, his presence a mix of professionalism and genuine concern. "Mrs. Johnson." "Mr. Johnson," he greeted us, his tone respectful. "I wanted to update you on the progress of our investigation. We have already begun interviewing the officers involved and reviewing the resort's security protocols." His words provided a flicker of hope. Yet I couldn't shake the feeling that words alone were insufficient. "Deputy Chief, we appreciate your efforts. But we need more than promises," I responded firmly. "This incident reflects a broader issue that extends beyond our family. We need concrete actions to prevent this from happening to others." Anderson nodded, his expression thoughtful. "I understand. And we are committed to addressing these systemic problems. I will ensure that our findings are transparent and that appropriate measures are taken based on the results." As he left, I turned to Michael, feeling a renewed sense of purpose. "We're making progress. But we can't rely solely on the system. We need to amplify our voices and rally support from the community." Michael agreed, his eyes filled with determination. "Let's reach out to the local advocacy groups and see how we can collaborate. Together, we can create a stronger front against this injustice." That night, as we sat together reflecting on the day's events, the bonds of love and empathy within our family felt unbreakable. The challenges we faced were daunting, but the unwavering support we offered each other fueled our collective strength. We had learned that true justice required not just resilience, but also the courage to stand up and fight for what was right, no matter the odds. Tyler and Sophia, though young, had begun to understand the gravity of our situation. Their quiet strength and innocent perspectives reminded us of the profound lessons we were imparting, not just about justice, but about love, empathy, and the unyielding pursuit of equality. As we prepared for the battles ahead, we knew that our fight was not just for ourselves, but for a future where no family would have to endure the pain and humiliation we had experienced. Together, we embraced the challenges, our hearts united by a shared commitment to make a difference. The journey was far from over, but with each step, we moved closer to a world where justice and compassion prevailed, guided by the enduring love that bound our family together. The days that followed our initial confrontation at Seaview Resort were a blur of activity and emotion. With Rebecca Thompson, our dedicated attorney, guiding us through the complexities of our legal battle, we began to see a path forward amidst the chaos. The support from the local community and the growing media interest provided a beacon of hope, illuminating the injustices we had endured and fueling our determination to seek justice. Rebecca scheduled a press conference to bring our story to the public eye. The thought of speaking out was daunting, but we knew it was a crucial step in our fight against systemic discrimination. Michael and I spent hours preparing our statements, ensuring that every detail was accurately conveyed. Tyler and Sophia, though young, understood the importance of our mission and offered their unwavering support, their presence a comforting reminder of why we were doing this. On the day of the press conference, the atmosphere was electric with anticipation. Journalists, camera crews, and concerned community members gathered in the resort's grand ballroom, their faces reflecting a mix of curiosity and solidarity. Rebecca stood beside us, her confidence a source of strength, while Deputy Chief Anderson was also present, ready to provide additional insights into the investigation. As I took a deep breath, the weight of the moment settled over me. Looking into the sea of faces, I felt a surge of empathy for those who had faced similar injustices. "Thank you all for coming," I began, my voice steady despite the nerves bubbling beneath the surface. "We are here today not just to share our story, but to shed light on the pervasive issue of discrimination that affects countless families across our society." Michael followed, his tone equally resolute. Our experience at Seaview Resort was not an isolated incident. It reflects a broader pattern of prejudice and abuse of power that must be addressed. We hope that by speaking out, we can inspire change and ensure that no other family has to endure what we did. The response was overwhelming. Questions poured in from every direction, and the room buzzed with a renewed sense of purpose. Rebecca deftly navigated each inquiry, her expertise shining through as she articulated our demands for accountability and systemic reform. Deputy Chief Anderson added his perspective, acknowledging the shortcomings within the department and pledging a transparent investigation. Outside the ballroom, social media began to ignite with our story. Hashtags like #JusticeForJohnson and #EndDiscrimination started trending, amplifying our message far beyond the confines of Seaview Resort. The outpouring of support from strangers, inspired by our courage, reinforced our belief that we were not alone in this fight. As the weeks progressed, our legal team worked tirelessly to build a compelling case. We gathered testimonies from other guests who had witnessed the incident, their voices adding credibility to our claims. The resort management, under Rebecca's advisement, began to show signs of vulnerability, their initial apologies now overshadowed by mounting evidence of negligence and complicity. Michael and I found solace in each other's strength, our love deepening as we navigated the tumultuous waters of our legal battle. Late nights were spent reviewing documents, strategizing with Rebecca, and supporting our children as they processed the trauma they had witnessed. Tyler, ever the protector, took it upon himself to comfort Sophia, his maturity beyond his years a testament to the resilience we had instilled in them. One evening, as the sun set over our home, casting a warm glow through the windows, Michael pulled me close. "We've come so far," he whispered, his voice filled with both exhaustion and pride. "No matter what happens, we've already made a difference by standing up and sharing our truth." I nodded, feeling the truth of his words resonate within me. "This is just the beginning," I replied softly. "Together, we can create a ripple effect that will challenge and change the injustices embedded in our society." As we embraced, the lessons we had learned through this ordeal became clear. Love and unity were our greatest weapons against hatred and prejudice. Empathy for others' suffering fueled our determination, while our unwavering commitment to justice provided the foundation upon which we stood. The journey ahead was still uncertain, but with each step, we moved closer to a world where equality and respect were not just ideals, but realities for every family. Our fight had gained momentum, propelled by the collective voice of those who believed in our cause. The Johnson family was no longer just survivors of an injustice, we had become advocates for change. Our story a beacon of hope for others facing similar battles. As we continued to push forward, we remained united by the profound love and empathy that defined us, ready to confront whatever challenges lay ahead with courage and unwavering resolve.